You felt it your whole life, like something was missing, but no one ever hit you. You had food, a roof, maybe even birthday parties. But something deeper never arrived. That ache in your chest, that guilt for needing too much, that emotional blankness when someone asks how you feel, you didn't imagine it. It was emotional neglect, and it rewires the brain like trauma. But worse, it leaves no scars, just silence. In 1871, Russian physician Vladimir Bekhterev noticed something strange in orphans. Not abuse, not violence, but children who were empty, quiet, flat, like someone had sucked the color from their souls. He didn't have a name for it, but today we do: emotional neglect. And here's what makes it terrifying. Unlike trauma that screams, emotional neglect whispers. No one remembers it because it was the absence of something, not what happened to you. What didn't? Like, no one asked about your feelings. No one validated your fear. No one mirrored your joy. It's the childhood equivalent of being ghosted by life itself. Cut to a young boy asking, "Why are you crying?" The father shrugs, "You're too sensitive." That sentence, that moment, it can cripple emotional development for decades. The human brain is wired for connection. From birth, mirror neurons light up when a caregiver responds to our emotions. But without that mirroring, the orbitofrontal cortex, your emotional GPS, fails to calibrate. MRI scans of emotionally neglected adults show reduced gray matter density in the anterior insula. Translation? They struggle to process emotions, even their own. Now here's the catch. They often become hyperfunctional, straight-A students, people pleasers, not because they feel okay, but because they learned early on that being perfect was safer than being seen. It's the trauma of being invisible, and it shows up in adulthood like this. You numb out during conflict. You feel guilty for needing help. You're terrified of burdening others. Cut to a woman saying, "I'm fine," with a fake smile. She's not lying. She just doesn't know what she feels. In ancient Sparta, boys were taken from their mothers at age 7. They were beaten, starved, and taught to never cry. It wasn't cruelty. It was culture. Fast forward to 1946. Dr. Benjamin Spock's book Baby and Child Care becomes a bestseller. He advises parents to limit excessive affection. Why? Because coddling was believed to make children weak. Yes, that was actual advice from the 20th century. A whole generation was raised to believe that emotions were liabilities, that love should be rationed. And now those kids are adults, raising you. So maybe your parents weren't cold on purpose. Maybe they were just emotionally malnourished, too. Here's a chilling fact. People with histories of emotional neglect have higher rates of alexithymia, the inability to name or describe emotions. It's not just not knowing how you feel. It's not knowing that you're feeling anything at all. That's why you didn't cry at your grandmother's funeral. Why you feel numb when someone says, "I love you." It's not because you're broken. It's because no one taught you how to be whole. And the worst part? Neglected kids don't grow up thinking, "My parents failed me." They grow up thinking, "I'm unlovable." In 1975, researchers studying intergenerational trauma in Holocaust survivors noticed something eerie. Their children exhibited trauma symptoms without ever experiencing the trauma themselves. What was passed down wasn't violence. It was emotional suppression, hypervigilance, a family culture of fear and silence. Emotional neglect is often inherited, not through genes, but through modeling. If your mother never showed you how to soothe, you grow up thinking discomfort is permanent. If your father never apologized, you grow up believing you don't deserve repair. Emotional neglect becomes a ghost in the family, haunting dinner tables, whispering through passive-aggressive comments, shaping lives silently. Ever found yourself in a beautiful moment, on a beach, in love, at peace, and felt nothing? This is called emotional blunting, and it often stems from developmental emotional neglect, DN. Your nervous system was trained to survive, not to feel. It numbed you to pain, but it also numbed you to joy. You probably said things like, "I don't know what I want. I feel like I'm watching my life, not living it. I don't feel real." These aren't flaws. They're symptoms of emotional abandonment that never got a name. You can't grieve what you don't know you lost. But now that you do, here's the secret. Emotional neglect is invisible, but recovery isn't. Healing begins when you validate your experience. I wasn't overreacting. I was undersupported. Reparent your inner child, not through perfection, but by simply asking, what do I feel? Name the ghost. Write down every moment you needed something emotionally and didn't get it. Grieve it, all of it. And if you're still doubting whether it counts, let this be your proof. The fact that you learned to survive without love is exactly why you deserve to feel it now. You weren't too much. You were just unmet. Subscribe. Share this with someone who needed to hear it.